It was a sunny morning, and Ariel woke up early. The sun was shining through his window, and the birds were singing. Ariel felt happy and excited because he had a plan for the day. He was going to the market to practice speaking English. Ariel knew that visiting the market was a great way to learn new words and talk to people in English. Ariel quickly got ready. He ate a simple breakfast with some toast and juice, feeling energized. He put on his shoes, grabbed his bag, and walked out of his house. The weather was perfect, sunny and warm, just right for a day outside. Ariel walked through the busy streets, feeling the fresh air. He was a little nervous, but also ready to practice speaking English. The market was not far from his house, and it didn't take long to get there. When Ariel arrived at the market, he saw many people. There were lots of stalls selling fresh fruits, vegetables, and flowers. People were talking to each other, and the market was full of sounds and colors. Ariel smiled because he was excited to be there. He walked to a fruit stall. The stand was full of bright apples, bananas, and grapes. The woman behind the stall was busy, but she looked friendly. Ariel decided to buy some apples. He walked up to her and said, "Hello, how much are the apples?" Ariel's voice was a little shaky, but he tried his best. The woman smiled and said, "The apples are $1 each." Ariel nodded and looked at the apples. He picked 3 apples and said, "I will take 3, please." He gave the woman $3. She gave him the apples and some change. Ariel felt proud of himself for speaking English. He said, "Thank you," and walked away, holding the apples in his hands. Next, Ariel walked to another stall that was selling flowers. The flowers were beautiful roses, daisies, and sunflowers. Ariel liked roses very much, so he decided to buy one. He asked the man at the flower stall, "How much are the roses?" The man smiled and answered, "The roses are $2 each." Ariel looked at the roses and picked a red one. He said, "I will take 1 rose, please." He paid the man $2, and the man gave him the rose. Ariel said, "Thank you," and smiled as he walked away. Ariel was feeling more confident now. He had already practiced asking for apples and flowers, and it was getting easier. He walked around the market to see what else he could buy. He saw a vegetable stall with fresh tomatoes, carrots, and cucumbers. The woman at the stall greeted him with a smile and said, "Good afternoon. What can I get for you?" Ariel smiled back and said, "I want some tomatoes and carrots, please." The woman picked some tomatoes and carrots and put them in a bag. Ariel handed her the money and said, "Thank you." The woman smiled and said, "You're welcome. Have a nice day." Ariel felt happy as he walked away with his vegetables. He had bought apples, a rose, tomatoes, and carrots, all in English. He was proud of himself for speaking to different people at the market and using the new words he had learned. Before leaving the market, Ariel decided to sit on a bench to rest for a few minutes. He looked at the things he had bought and felt a sense of accomplishment. He had spoken English with people he didn't know, and it had gone well. Ariel knew that the more he practiced, the better he would get at speaking English. He thought about the words he had learned today: apples, roses, tomatoes, carrots, and thanks. These were words he would remember. While sitting on the bench, Ariel reflected on his day. He thought about how nervous he was at the beginning, but now he felt proud. He realized that learning English wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Ariel knew that practice was important, and he promised himself that he would keep practicing every day. The market was still busy, and people were walking around, shopping for food. Ariel watched the world around him and felt happy to be a part of it. He was learning English, and every day he was getting better. He knew that every conversation, every word, and every sentence would help him improve. Finally, Ariel decided it was time to go home. He walked back to the bus stop with a smile on his face. The sun was still shining, and the air was warm. He felt good about the day he had spent at the market. It was a day of learning, practice, and new experiences. As Ariel sat on the bus, he looked at the things he had bought: apples, a rose, tomatoes, and carrots, and thought about the new words he had learned. He felt proud of himself. He knew that speaking English was a journey, and he was on the right path. When Ariel got home, he put his shopping on the kitchen table. He took out his notebook and wrote down the new words he had learned: apples, roses, tomatoes, and carrots. Writing the words down helped him remember them. After that, he watched a short video in English. It wasn't easy, but Ariel understood some parts, and he repeated the words he heard. Ariel went to bed that night feeling happy. It had been a good day for learning English. He knew that tomorrow he would learn more, speak more, and get better every day. He was excited for his next adventure. The next day, Ariel woke up early. He felt happy because today he was going to meet his friend John. John was from Canada, and they had been studying English together for a while. Ariel enjoyed meeting John because they always practiced speaking English and learned from each other. They had decided to meet at a cafe, which was a quiet place where they could sit and talk. After eating breakfast, Ariel got ready. He had some eggs and toast, which made him feel full and ready for the day. He put on his shoes, grabbed his bag, and walked out of his house. The weather was nice again, and Ariel felt excited to see John. As he walked, he thought about the things he wanted to talk to John about. They would talk about their lives, their goals, and, of course, practice English together. It wasn't long before Ariel arrived at the cafe. The cafe was small and cozy, with soft music playing in the background. John was already there. He was sitting at a table by the window, drinking coffee. When Ariel walked in, John waved and smiled. "Hi, Ariel," he said. Ariel smiled back. "Hello, John," he replied. Ariel walked over to John and sat down across from him. They shook hands, both happy to see each other. "So, how's your English going?" John asked. Ariel thought for a moment before answering. "It's going well," he said. "I've been practicing a lot. Yesterday, I went to the market and spoke English with the sellers." John smiled. "That's great. I think the best way to learn English is to practice every day. The more you speak, the better you get." Ariel nodded. "I agree. I also try to use English when I talk to my family or even when I'm by myself." They both laughed. "That's a good idea," John said. "The more you use the language, the easier it becomes. And don't worry if you make mistakes. It's all part of learning." Ariel felt happy hearing John's words. It was always nice to talk with someone who understood the challenges of learning a new language. They both agreed that practicing every day was the key to improving. While they were talking, Ariel noticed that the cafe was starting to get busy. People were coming in for their morning coffee, and the sound of their conversations filled the air. Ariel liked this. It reminded him that English was all around him, and there were so many chances to learn and practice. After talking for a while, Ariel and John decided to go to the park. The weather was perfect for a walk. They both enjoyed spending time in nature, and the park was a peaceful place to continue their conversation. They paid for their drinks and walked out of the cafe, heading toward the park. The park was just a short walk away, and soon they were surrounded by tall trees, green grass, and colorful flowers. Ariel took a deep breath and felt relaxed. The fresh air made him feel good, and he was glad to be outside with his friend. They found a bench to sit on and continued talking. John told Ariel about his life in Canada. "I come from a small town," John said. "It's very quiet there, and I miss my family sometimes, but I like studying English in London. It's a big city with lots of people and new things to see." Ariel listened carefully. "That sounds nice," he said. "I'm from a big city, too. It's always busy here, but I like it. I want to speak English very well, so I can do a good job and travel to other countries." John smiled. "That's a great goal. If you keep practicing, I'm sure you will get there. You already speak English well." Ariel felt happy to hear that. It was always nice to get encouragement from a friend. They talked for a long time, sharing their dreams and ideas. Sometimes they didn't know the right words, so they would stop and look up new words together. It was fun learning with a friend. After a while, they decided to go for a walk around the park. The sun was shining, and there were many people walking, jogging, or sitting on the grass. Ariel and John passed by a fountain, where the water sparkled in the sunlight. Birds were flying around, and it was a peaceful place. Ariel felt calm as he watched the birds and listened to the water. As they walked, Ariel and John talked about their future plans. John said, "I want to go to a university in London to study business. I think it will help me get a good job." Ariel thought for a moment and said, "I want to work in a big company, too. Maybe I'll travel to other countries for work." They smiled at each other, feeling excited about their futures. They both knew that learning English was important for achieving their dreams. It was something they could work on together, and it made them feel motivated to keep going. After spending some time walking around, they decided to sit on the grass and rest. They talked more, practicing their English as they went. Sometimes Ariel had to think about what to say, but he didn't mind. He knew that practice would help him improve. John also helped Ariel with words he didn't understand, and Ariel helped John when he needed it. It felt good to learn together. Finally, it was time to say goodbye. Ariel and John walked back to the bus stop together. They both agreed that it had been a good day. Ariel felt proud of how much he had practiced and learned. Speaking English with John had helped him a lot. When Ariel got home, he thought about everything they had talked about. He remembered the new words he had learned and the things they had shared. He felt happy to have a friend like John, someone who helped him improve his English and shared his dreams. Ariel knew that every time he practiced, he would get better at speaking English, and that made him excited for the next time he would see John. It was a good day for learning English, and Ariel was ready for more. Every day, he was getting closer to his goal of speaking English fluently. He couldn't wait to meet John again and practice even more. One bright morning, Ariel woke up feeling excited. Today was a special day because he was going to visit the museum with his friend John. Ariel loved museums. They were quiet places full of interesting things to see and learn about. Ariel knew that the museum would be a great place to practice English and learn new words. After having a simple breakfast of cereal and milk, Ariel got dressed and left his house. The sun was shining, and the day felt perfect for a walk to the museum. Ariel thought about how much he enjoyed visiting new places and learning new things. He walked to the bus stop, and after a short wait, the bus arrived. Ariel got on the bus and found a seat by the window. He liked sitting by the window because it allowed him to see the streets and the people as the bus moved through the city. The bus ride was peaceful. Ariel looked outside and saw many people walking on the streets. Some were in a hurry, while others were taking their time. The bus stopped, and Ariel got off at the museum. It was only a short walk from the bus stop, and soon Ariel arrived at the entrance. The museum was big, with tall doors and large windows. Ariel felt excited as he walked inside. When he entered, he saw John waiting for him. John waved when he saw Ariel, and Ariel smiled. "Hi, Ariel," John said. "Hello, John," Ariel replied. They were both happy to meet and ready to explore the museum. The museum was quiet, with only a few other people walking around. Ariel and John started in the first room, which was filled with paintings. The walls were covered with beautiful pictures. Some paintings were very old, and some were more modern. Ariel looked at a painting of a sunset with red, orange, and yellow colors. The bright colors made the painting look warm and peaceful. John pointed at the painting and said, "This is beautiful." "I like the colors." Ariel nodded and agreed. "Yes, it's lovely." They stood there for a moment, admiring the painting. John then asked, "What do you think about this one?" He pointed to a painting of a tree. Ariel looked at the tree in the painting and said, "It looks real." "The leaves are so green." They moved on to the next room. This room was filled with sculptures. Some sculptures were of people, and others were of animals. Ariel liked the sculptures because they looked very lifelike. He walked up to a sculpture of a man and said, "This one looks so real." John smiled and agreed. "Yes, it's amazing how the artist made it look like a real person." As they walked through the museum, Ariel and John kept talking about the things they saw. They used English words to describe the paintings and sculptures. Ariel felt happy because he was learning new words. Some words were easy to understand, like painting and sculpture. Other words were new to him, like exhibit and artist. Ariel wrote the new words down in his notebook to remember them later. In one of the rooms, Ariel and John saw old objects from different countries. There were masks from Africa, pottery from China, and clothes from India. Ariel was amazed by the different things from so many places. He asked John, "Do you like the masks?" John nodded and said, "Yes, they are very colorful and interesting." Ariel was curious about the pottery from China. He looked at a beautiful vase and said, "This vase is so pretty." "The design is nice," John agreed. "It's amazing how people in China made such beautiful things a long time ago." After a while, they decided to take a break. They went to the museum cafe to sit down and have some tea. Ariel and John ordered drinks and sat at a table by the window. They talked about the things they saw in the museum and about their lives. John told Ariel about his family in Canada, and Ariel shared stories about his life in the city. They both enjoyed learning about each other's cultures and backgrounds. As they were finishing their drinks, John said, "I think we should go to one more room before we leave." "There are some really old things in there," Ariel nodded, and they walked to the last room. This room had many old things, like jewelry, tools, and books. Ariel looked at a shiny necklace and said, "This is beautiful." "I wonder who wore it." John smiled and said, "I think it belonged to someone important a long time ago." Ariel and John spent another hour walking through the museum, learning new words and talking about the exhibits. They felt good because they had practiced their English while seeing so many interesting things. When they were finished, they left the museum and walked outside into the fresh air. Ariel felt proud of the day. He had learned many new words, like exhibit, artist, pottery, mask, and necklace. It was a great day for practicing English, and Ariel knew he would remember these words. As he walked to the bus stop, he thought about how much he had learned and how fun it was to explore the museum. On the bus ride home, Ariel looked at the things he had learned and felt happy. He was excited to practice more English and learn even more new words. He knew that every day was a chance to get better. When he got home, he wrote down the new words in his notebook and practiced saying them out loud. Ariel was proud of how much he had learned, and he knew that each new word brought him one step closer to speaking English fluently. It was a good day for learning, and Ariel couldn't wait for his next adventure. He looked forward to more days of learning, practicing, and discovering new things. Every day, Ariel was getting better at speaking English, and he felt excited about the future. Ariel's journey to improve his English was not easy, but it was rewarding. He started by stepping out of his comfort zone, practicing English in real-life situations like shopping at the market, meeting his friend John, and exploring the museum. Each day, Ariel learned something new, whether it was a new word, a new expression, or a new way of using English in conversations. With each step, Ariel grew more confident and more excited about his progress. At the market, Ariel practiced asking for apples and flowers. Even though he was nervous at first, he soon realized that the more he spoke, the easier it became. Ariel learned that practicing English every day, even in small situations, helped him build his confidence and improve his skills. He learned that the key to speaking English well is practice, and that it doesn't matter if you make mistakes along the way. The important thing is to keep trying. When Ariel met John, he had a chance to share his dreams and practice English in a more relaxed environment. They talked about their lives, their goals, and the challenges of learning a new language. Ariel learned that learning English is not just about memorizing words, but also about connecting with people, sharing ideas, and being open to new experiences. John encouraged Ariel to keep practicing every day, and Ariel understood that this advice was essential to improving his language skills. The visit to the museum was another great opportunity for Ariel to expand his vocabulary. He saw new things, asked questions, and learned words like sculpture, exhibit, and artist. Ariel realized that learning English is not just about speaking, but also about understanding the world around you and being curious about different cultures and ideas. By visiting the museum, Ariel learned that there is always something new to discover, and that every experience is a chance to learn. In the end, Ariel's journey shows us that learning a language is a process. It takes time, patience, and practice. The more you practice, the more confident you become. Ariel didn't learn English overnight, but by taking small steps every day, he made steady progress. His story teaches us that it's important to take every opportunity to practice, be patient with ourselves, and enjoy the journey, the lesson, and how to apply it. The story of Ariel teaches us an important lesson. Learning a language takes time, but it's the small, consistent efforts that make the biggest difference. Whether it's practicing with a friend, speaking to people at the market, or exploring new places like a museum, every experience is an opportunity to improve. The key is not to be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. So don't wait for the perfect moment to speak. Start now and keep practicing. In your own life, think about how you can find opportunities to practice English every day. Maybe you can speak to your friends in English, watch movies or videos in English, or read books and articles in English. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Just like Ariel, you'll feel more confident, and soon you'll be able to speak English more easily. Congratulations! Congratulations on finishing the story and improving your listening and understanding of English. You've taken an important step in your learning journey. Keep practicing, and remember that each day is an opportunity to improve. Quiz question: which activity helped Ariel practice English the most? A. Going to the market, B. Watching movies. Please comment your answer as or B. Your interaction helps us continue making great content for you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support us and help us create more content for you. Your support means a lot to us, especially in the early stages of building this channel. If you enjoy the content and want to help, we would really appreciate your donation to keep the channel running and producing quality materials for you. We do this for free because we want to help you learn English. Thank you for being part of our journey.